Hello everyone! In this video I am going to show you how to add cookie consent to your WordPress blog. If your blog gets any visitors from Europe, you will need to have cookie consent installed, and that is why you see this now on most websites. My name is Theo McArthur. I've been blogging for 20 years, teaching blogging since 2016, and I have over 22,000 students worldwide. So let's go! Alright, I'm in the WordPress dashboard, but before we go ahead and do anything, let me show you a cookie consent bar. I think most of you know what it looks like and what it is, but just in case. Right down at the bottom here of this website, there's a bar that users can accept and continue to accept cookies. And it simply says, this website uses cookies to provide you with the best user experience possible. Some cookies are essential for the operation of our site. The user can also select more details, and here they can disable third-party cookies if they want to. And these are things like Google Analytics and anything you might have installed on your blog that tracks what's going on. So Google Analytics is a tracking program. It tracks your visitors, how many visitors you're getting, where they're coming from. So it's a really useful thing to have. Anything like that you have, these are called third-party cookies, and a user can opt out if they want to, but very few people do. So most people will simply accept cookies so they can continue and use the website as normal. Now, necessary cookies are always enabled, and the user can't disable those, because if they did, they wouldn't be able to use the website properly, some things wouldn't work, etc. And that's the same on every website. Okay, so as just mentioned, most users will click accept or OK, continue, just to get rid of the cookie bar. And every website, every blog, every web property that has visitors or might have visitors from Europe should by law have cookie consent installed. Alright, now we're going to install a plugin, and it's free. So over to plugins, add new, and type in GDPR cookie compliance, or just cookie compliance. There are lots to choose from. The most popular one is GDPR cookie consent by WebToffee. On this particular website, I have got this one installed by Move Agency, and the reason for that is occasionally you can have a conflict between the theme that you are using, the WordPress design theme you are using, and a plugin. So I found that this plugin here, GDPR Cookie Compliance by Move Agency, worked better for this particular website and this particular theme. The principles are the same. It doesn't really matter which one that you use. So go ahead and choose one to install. Now I do recommend that you choose one of the most popular ones, the one that has a lot of installations and has been recently updated. So that could be this one, WebToffee, it could be this one I have installed, it could be this one, or even this one. Because I have this particular one here installed, that's the one I'm going to show you, but it's going to be very similar regardless of which one you install. So go ahead and click install and activate. Look in the menu over on the left hand side for a link to the plugin. If you don't see a link by any chance, go to your installed plugins and access it from there instead, because it's the same thing. It doesn't really matter whether you access it from the installed plugins page or from the menu. And you want to go to the settings, and here you can set your colors, and these would be colors that will match with the design and the colors of your blog. You can also upload a logo by clicking here. Choose the logo position and choose the button style. I chose rounded corners for this particular one. as you can see here, rounded corners. You can specify the font. So if you want a particular font, you can do that here. Click on banner settings. Make sure it's toggled to on. And here's where you can enter the text. Now there'll be some default text in there. I can't remember exactly what it will be. But if you wish to change it to something that sounds a bit more user-friendly, you can do so. If you want to use the same wording that I have here, you're welcome to do that. The wording for the accept button, accept and continue, OK, continue, any of these things are fine. Now, reject button. Reject button allows users to reject all cookies. It's not recommended that you have that because some cookies are essential. As mentioned already, if they're not operating, then the site may not operate properly for the user. However, you should enable the settings button. That allows the user to reject non-essential cookies, i.e. third-party cookies, if they want to. And you can put in here settings or more details, anything that you want to, as long as it makes sense. Close button, if you want the user to be able to click to close the banner without either accepting or rejecting or doing anything at all, you can leave that enabled, and as you see, I do have it enabled. Cookie banner position, I recommend you have this at the bottom of your blog, at the bottom of the page. It's very rare that you will see a cookie banner at the top. Sometimes you do, but it's better, in my opinion, at the bottom. Color scheme, now I have this set to light. If you want to change it to dark, you can. Any changes you've made, click Save Changes. Floating button. Now I don't use the floating button. I just want it at the bottom, but if you want to enable a floating button, you can do so there. General settings. Choose your layout. This is for the cookies settings screen, so let me just remind you about that. If a user clicks on more details, this is the setting screen. So this could either be tabs, as it is here, or it could open a whole page. But if you prefer it to be a full page, you can choose that. And these are just some of the other labels on that page, and some may be relevant only to the one-page layout. But these are the default settings. I haven't changed these, and that is what you will have if you use this particular plugin. Consent expiry. How long before the user needs to give their consent again for cookies? Now this could be 30 days, it could be 60 days. Now right here it's 365 days, which is a year. It's a long time. I'm going to change this to 30 days. Enter 0 if you want consent to expire at the end of the current browsing session. I don't recommend you do that. It's annoying for the user if they need to accept cookies every time they visit your blog. Save changes. Privacy overview. This is the default, and I've left it exactly as the default because it's very relevant and appropriate. I didn't see any reason to change it. Strictly necessary cookies. Always enabled. User cannot disable it, but can see the content. So if you want users to be able to disable these necessary cookies, you can allow them to do that. But I mentioned this already, if they disable necessary cookies, it's possible some things on the blog won't work properly for them. Third-party cookies, and I explained this already, there are lots of different third-party cookies that you may have installed at some point, or you may do in the future install on your blog. So default status is enabled, and it should be enabled by default. But as we know, the user does have the ability to switch that off and opt out of those third-party cookies. But as I said already, most people don't do that. Additional cookies. These are any other cookies, any additional types of cookies that are not essential cookies, not third-party cookies. For the most part, you won't have any of these cookies. And cookie policy, this is a very simple page, and I'll show you now. The link to it is right here in the cookie consent banner, cookie policy. So this is the cookie policy page as it is right now on buildthatblog.com. You're very welcome to come along here and have a look at it and create your own cookie policy page based on this. And that is pretty much it, or as much as you can do with the free plugin. Now, if you upgrade to a premium version or to the paid version of the plugin, you can do other things such as setting the geolocation so that the plugin knows what geographical location the visitor is from and only displays the cookie consent bar to the relevant visitors, and that can be a very handy feature to have. But the free plugin does do everything that it needs to do. Okay, I'll see you in another video.